for joining our show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, as you know, wrestling has been dropped from the 2020 games. What were you doing when you got the news that wrestling was actually dropped?
I was actually in Azerbaijan for that World Cup tournament that you mentioned. And we were just sitting down for breakfast. It was, 7 a.m. And Andy just told me that wrestling was dropped, and just blew my mind. I thought that was so crazy, since I'm out there training, competing, seeing what other countries are doing. We're living together, and then hearing that wrestling was dropped, it was just crazy.
We have officially made it through stage 1. We are one of 3 sports: us, squash, baseball, and softball. What can we do now as a nation and the entire world to stand up to make sure that we are heard?
I think just putting it out there and making wrestling more of being more social about it. Wrestling's kind of been put to themselves. They don't really advertise. The people that will watch will watch. So I think just being more outspoken and telling people how much you really want wrestling in the Olympics, that'll really help.
A lot of people have their own success stories that they can accredit wrestling for this or that. What has it done for you personally to build you who you are today?
It just makes everything else I do so much easier. I mean, when you go through a practice and you're cutting weight and you're tired or thirsty or hungry or whatever it is, and you got to force yourself to, keep going or keep wrestling, it makes everything else so much easier. I mean, once I go into the workforce and start working, I think wrestling is going to help transition me into that fairly easily.
I had Travell Delognev, 2012 Olympian, and he brought up a very, very valid point that leading up to the Olympic times, wrestling is very, very well not publicized. But until we get to to that cycle, then wrestling becomes really hot, and then people start to notice names. Do you think that's fair to take that away from us?
What was that again? Sorry, you were breaking up.
Up until the Olympic time, the Olympic year, wrestling is very, very well not publicized. People don't know who we are, but on that Olympic year, that's when big wrestling names start to come out of the woodwork. Do you think that's fair to take that away from us?
No, absolutely not. I mean, most of those other sports, they all have a professional league that they can aspire to be in, and for wrestling, Olympics is the ultimatum. That's what everyone's training for, and to take that away is really going to hurt wrestling. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen. I hope not, but I don't think that's the right way to do it.
What could you tell the youth right now that are listening in what they can do to stand up and be heard?
There's so many websites out there for Save Olympic Wrestling, and I know there's you can donate money to help support the cause. Just little taglines, keep Olympic Wrestling, and there's another one that they're just coming out with. It's called Take a Stance. It's just taking a picture in front of an important landmark or wherever you are. You could just be in your living room, take a picture of you in a stance, and ultimately represents taking a stance for Olympic wrestling and keeping it alive.
A lot of feedback that I've been getting, and a lot of people have been emailing me or talking about that I've been seeing on social media. I am only one single person. Am I really going to be a factor or make a difference in this movement?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's kind of what people say about voting for, the president. I'm one vote. What's that going to mean? But when you put all those votes together, that equals a huge number, and that's how we're going to stay alive in Olympics.
Another point that was brought up to me by Matt Valenti, that the IOC looks for diversity, opportunity, gender equality. How do you feel that women's wrestling is going to help this movement?
Well, they're always about equality. Wrestling is a sport that you can have a men's league and a women's league, and not all sports are like that. But I think the fact that there's 1 and 1, it should help out that wrestling should stay alive.
Another hot topic that's been on the board that everyone that I've even been talking about are the new rules.
Hmm.
How do you feel compared to the old rules and what you wrestled now?
They're way different. They're changing the whole way you approach your matches. It's more collegiate or folk style based, so it should actually help the Americans, I would imagine. But it's a lot easier to follow with the cumulative scoring, which is a 2-period thing that's kind of confusing for spectators to watch. But I really like the new rules.
Another point that has been brought up to me, that the IOC did not factor in that this is actually punishing the youth out there, all the young wrestlers out there that aspire to be, you, Jordan Burroughs, Jake Herbert. Is it fair to them to crush dreams?
No, I mean, I would say no. I'm kind of biased though, but all those kids, they look up to us and they see us training for the Olympics. And if there's no Olympics, it's completely unfair to them.
I'm an assistant coach for a local high school, and actually had 2 of my wrestlers quit because they say, well, right now there's no 2020. I'll be done with college, in 2017, 2018, so why should I continue? I'll just go play basketball. How do you keep these kids motivated?
Well, we got right now. We just got to keep fighting, and hopefully, it won't have to come to that where 2020 is. There's going to be an Olympics for wrestling, so I'm just staying positive and hoping for the best, and going out there and staying on the social aspect and really promoting the sport. That should help out a lot. But as far as the kids, I mean. I would like to hope that they wouldn't have to use that excuse anymore. But I mean, wrestling it's still got college sports. There's still so much that it can help teach you and give back to you. So, they should all keep wrestling.
All right, Jimmy, we got an email coming in from James, and he wants to know how is training treating you up in Michigan at the Cliff Keen team compared to going to any other team.
It's great. We're the only team with a full-time coach, and that's Andy Rovat. And the fact that he's able to be there every day and, devise a freestyle-directed practice structure, it's gives us an advantage over any other club.
And how do you feel that's going to help you prepare to be on that 2020 team the 2016 team or upcoming world teams?
The fact that we have a coach, he gives us practices every day, and otherwise most people are training on their own or just going through the folk style practices. And the fact that we're able to have freestyle only practices and then some folk style, it really helps out a lot.
Are you able to use, different collegiate guys that are tied to with the Michigan team who are competing for national titles?
Yeah, we wrestle all the time. So then we'll pull that aside and we'll either have a freestyle workout or stick with them on their folk style workouts if it's on your feet or whatever. But the fact that we're able to pick and choose from the team who we need to work out with, it really helps. It's so hard on your body to train with the best guys in the world every day. So when we need a day off or to work on some technique or something, it's great to be able to grab one of those guys, and they get better from it too. I know they really enjoy it.
You have a very, very another good guy from Michigan, Kellen Russell. Tell us what it's like to be training with him.
It was actually kind of weird because we competed against each other in college when I first got out there, but over the past year, myself and Kellen and Kyle Massey, we really got to know each other and became real good friends. So when I see him doing well, it really helps me to keep training and gets me to do better too.
If you could tell any of our listeners out there one thing to do to stand up, what would it be?
The new thing right now, I don't know if anyone knows about it, is the take a stand thing that I mentioned. So they could just tweet a picture of them in front of wherever they want to be. It doesn't have to be anywhere crazy, but it could just be in your living room or outside or on the porch. Just a picture of you in the stance, and just hashtag it, take a stance, and try to get that to go viral and raise the support for wrestling.
If you guys do have a Twitter account, look up at Jimmy Kennedy 60. Follow him. He'll interact with you. He's a really great guy. All right, Jimmy, you wanted to do a little giveaway. We have a Cliff Keen t-shirt we're going to give away. We have a trivia question provided by Jimmy.
What did I place at this year's World Team Trials?
All right, guys, be the 10th person to email me at dj@radionova-casablanca.com. The question is, again, what place did Jimmy take at this year's World Team Trials? All right, Jimmy, you got anything else for us, my friend?
No, that was great.
All right, Jimmy.
I really enjoyed talking to you.
Thanks for coming on so much. It really means a lot.
All right.
All right, if we need to, will you take another call and make another guest appearance on Radio Nova?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys, we're going to get back to the music right here on Radio Nova.
N-O-V-A. Yeah, baby! Nova!
Enjoy a visit to Cerveceria Cafeteria Charo next to the Town Hall in Rojales. Charo offer a tempting and varied menu.